Dr. Bob, I think you're up. Medical team. 7th medical team.
As Al can tell you, unlike the others, I'm completely fluent in Spanish. So I just converse. This is my 15th trip, and I still have about a vocabulary of 10 words. So I'm going to let the girls talk first, and then I'll finish up. But 2 things I want to mention. For most of you who have been, Ben's over here, Ben Holton, so make sure you say hi to him. Ben was down with Glenda and Mike for how many years, Ben? 4 years, and he just came home a few months ago. He's going to Corning, going to get his degree in teaching math and go from there. Second of all, I want to mention it now so I don't forget, because I know I will. This is the face of the trip. There's the brains of the trip. It's my wife, Deb. She does all the groundwork. She does all the scout work, all the behind the scenes. So she's
This is my first time going down to Honduras. I'm a nurse, and I have to say I had some trepidation about going, but I put my trust and my faith in, and lots of prayers, and away I went. I have to say that Mike and Glenda's home is open to so many for so long a part of the year. I can't imagine doing that. So there are 8 days. I wish for more as well, but they took it. We never starved. This young lady here, I can attest, is a fantastic cook. Her recipes came with her. And dishes, I know for a fact she did a lot of dishes. The smiles and the hugs, they just crossed that language barrier. I have all I can do to speak in a lot of Spanish either. It took me 6 days to learn how to say, have a good day, tengo buen día. It was amazing with the amount of people. We had maybe 15, 16 people setting up an empty schoolroom into a major medical facility. It was fantastic. And that whole language barrier, it wasn't there. People would just come in, grab something, set it up, grab something else, set it up, or the other way around. And we had Dr. Bob operating in no time. What was amazing was Christ was there, full form, full blossomed. All you had to do was look at somebody, touch a hand, give a hug, give a kiss, and there was no problem with language whatsoever. It was the language of God, speaking truly. And another medical trip. Let's see.
I have no medical background whatsoever, not even a little. I can apply a Band-Aid, period. But I still was useful. Those 6 days, or 4 of the 6 days that we were out in the field, I went for 4 of those days. I did have a translator, but I could do basic intake information with the help of a translator, so I was useful. And in the evenings and the afternoons, when I wasn't with the team, I could do household chores, cook, anything that was needed. I was useful even though I didn't have a medical background. So if you've ever thought of going on a trip, if construction's not your thing, consider the medical trip. Thank you.
I can definitely put you to use. 2 things I want to talk about. One, how this all got started. I mean, talk about the blessing of God. The first trip I made for the construction, I had been the first doc that went down, and Mike and I got talking about doing a medical team. I came home ready to go, and I had to go down for an interview. Oh, yeah, sure, I can take 2 days off to go interview in Honduras. I had to have a doc with me at all times. I don't know where the rent-a-doc was supposed to be found. But bottom line is, it just fell through. So Mike and I agreed, now's not the time. Well, 2 years later, Mike came home all excited when he came home in December that the government had approached him and said, we're seeing these schools where you're doing these construction teams, and the teenage pregnancy rate's down, the gang rate's down, grades are up. What about a medical team? Ever thought about that? And Mike's big smile. So guess what? All the red tape disappeared. I didn't have to do any of that gobbledygook. So God, in His timing, provided. Took a couple of years, but that's kind of proof of it. The second one that I really want to talk about today, I've been on 9 construction teams, and when you go down there, you finish, you see something. You lay block, you lay floor, you walk away from it. The medical team, I don't want to get into story after story, but let's just say I bawled more than once down there. You really don't know, and you kind of, I was feeling sorry for myself the second year or third year down there. It was late at night, and I'm like, am I really making a difference? I'm treating head lice, and I'm wondering, you could put saddle on these lice that are so big, and things like that. And you just wondered, am I making a difference? And I was kind of feeling sorry for myself and wondering, why the heck am I down here? What am I doing? And this is ridiculous. And bottom line, this past year, just recently, one of the young girls from Vegas brought up this, because I worked my way through it, but this young girl brought up that she was giving out Tylenol the first day. And she was thinking to her, she said to me the last day, I'm giving out Tylenol. I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? This is Tylenol. It's just Tylenol. And then she said, but everybody kept saying thank you, and the mothers were crying. And a baby came in with, young child came in with a temp of about 103.8. And we gave Tylenol at the beginning. And by the time they got back to see me because I looked at the child was stable. By the time the child was back to see me, the temp was down to 98.6. And she started thinking about this, that things we take for granted, clean Band-Aids, Tylenol, they don't have. And she thought about her nephew that she had taken care of with RSV, a serious viral infection this past winter, and spiking temperatures, and how frightened she was, and how frightened her sister was. And she said, all of a sudden now, it wasn't just Tylenol anymore. And her comment was, she's going home having Thanksgiving dinner, and the admission ticket to Thanksgiving dinner is a bottle of Tylenol. And she's told me, don't worry about the Tylenol, I'll take care of that for next year. I also got a pledge from her for that. But the bottom line, and where I'm going with this, I'm guilty of this, and I think a lot of us are. And I kind of want to close tonight. We all pray all the time for God's purpose, and what's God's purpose for us, and what's God's will for us. And I know I'm guilty, and I suspect some of you might be as well. There's 2 ways we can go about that. One of them is just standing still, waiting, doing nothing, waiting for this great purpose to be shown. Or the other one is to remember God's purpose and will for you is every day. It's the small little things. It doesn't have to be Tegucigalpa. It can be your next door neighbor who just needs you to stop by and say hi, lost their husband. It can be that person that's outside of Sam's that's homeless, and a handshake, a buck, and just a quick hug. So the small little things we do on the medical team remind me that that's kind of life in general. And I would just encourage you, yes, we're all talking, I'd love to have all of you join the medical team. I can give you all a job, I guarantee it. But tonight when you leave, not just the big purpose that you're praying for, because God's got those big purposes, I won't deny that, and they're important. But while you're waiting for that big purpose, remember the little purpose in His will for each and every day. And tomorrow, when you're going through the day, just kind of question, hey, what's my purpose for today? What's my little will for today? Handshake, hug, stop over, say hello, call somebody that you've been thinking about. Just a thought. Thanks for everything.